After Stephanie McMahon introduces the new made over Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan cuts a great promo talking about how John Cena is the entertainer while Daniel Bryan's the wrestler who would continue, if he ever got fired, to look for places to wrestle to continue to entertain us, while John Cena would just stay at home and fade away. But we all know John Cena's going nowhere. After this great promo, Vince McMahon comes out to continue to insult the guy who he doesn't believe in by saying, we've never had a dwarf as our champion, a gargoyle face, and Daniel Bryan just doesn't have the main event / champion look about him. Even though I disagree, Daniel Bryan by now has definitely proven himself as a main eventer, as a champion once again, more than the World Heavyweight Championship run he had. And plus, yes, he's not got a Batista, a Triple H look about him, but he's still someone I'd class as a main eventer now. As a champion, sure, I can see him becoming a good champion for the WWE now. But eventually, Vince McMahon wants Daniel Bryan to shave his beard off, so he uses Barber Barrett to do it, because I guess it almost sounds like the Barrett Barrage, or it's the WWE's way to get Barrett on TV. It's a shame because with SummerSlam, you want as many feuds as you can, wrestlers to be on the card, but the likes of Wade Barrett are just not going to make it. Sad to say. But Daniel Bryan reverses the shaving, and Daniel Bryan ends up shaving Wade Barrett and says, you cannot change me, and he shows a shirt, a pre-made shirt for this promo, should I say, by saying, the beard is here. Okay, the shirt bit I really don't think was needed, but for an opener, great work from Daniel Bryan. It got Wade Barrett on TV, and it continued this whole Vince McMahon not believing in Daniel Bryan before SummerSlam. It sounded like during John Cena's promo, he was putting down other wrestling companies or other places to wrestle, just because Daniel Bryan was pointing out the fact that if he was to get fired, he would go out there and still put on great wrestling matches to entertain us. Just because John Cena would have nothing better to do without the WWE, which he loves so much. But as he talks about SummerSlam and Daniel Bryan, the fans are correct. They chant boring, and John Cena says, instead of thinking, oh, they're talking about me and my mic work, my promos, he says how much they would prefer to see the John Cena versus Daniel Bryan match right now. But out comes Randy Orton by saying, you two are not concentrating on me with my briefcase, which means I'm going to become the next WWE champion. And with Randy Orton with the briefcase, I've not really given my opinions about this. I think Randy Orton, first time with the briefcase, him using that briefcase to hopefully add more to the Daniel Bryan and Orton feud, I look forward to that. But if this is a way to give us John Cena versus Randy Orton years later since their last feud, I wouldn't mind it, but I'd prefer the championship feud to be between Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. But during this segment between Randy Orton and John Cena, the Shield surround the ring, and Daniel Bryan comes out to make the rescue, and I was really surprised that the main event of Raw, made by Brad Maddox, was going to be a 6-man match. So after our celebration that Ricardo Rodriguez has returned, he accidentally causes Del Rio to lose to RVD after he places the bucket on ringside that Rob Van Dam uses to pick up the win on Del Rio. Okay, so Rob Van Dam, who's not in a feud against Del Rio, has picked up a win over our champion, who has a match at SummerSlam. But that's not really the important thing. Yes, Del Rio has lost a match before SummerSlam to Rob Van Dam, but the key point to this was, even though Ricardo Rodriguez has just returned, Del Rio looks like he's now parted ways with Ricardo by attacking him, putting his head behind some steel steps, drop kicking them into his head. So does that mean Ricardo Rodriguez is still being punished for his violation, or are we going to be saying goodbye to Ricardo Rodriguez as Del Rio continues his career on his own? After replaying the awesome SmackDown segment where Cody Rhodes disposes Damian Sandow's briefcase, Cody Rhodes presents Damian Sandow with the briefcase that he retrieves. This briefcase is dirty, covered with seaweed, but he says, if you want your briefcase, come out and get it. And the fact that you have these two have a small fight before Damian Sandow leaves the ring. Yes, it was short and I felt more could have been done, especially on the mic between these two. We've still got another week and we've still got SmackDown. So I'm looking forward to maybe a little bit more getting added to this. But later in the night, the match was confirmed at SummerSlam. Damian Sandow will be facing Cody Rhodes. But my question to you is, because there's been a bit of emphasis on the briefcase, should the briefcase be on the line for this match at SummerSlam? I believe the Mark Henry versus Ryback WrestleMania rematch should have been on Raw following WrestleMania, especially when they wanted to push Ryback to the main event, to the WWE Championship, because they could have had a #1 contendership where Ryback actually beat Mark Henry instead of this rubbish Raw segment match where Ryback ends up walking out the ring and Mark Henry wins by countout. Pointless, stupid Ryback. We're here. Eric Rowan and Luke Harper defeat Tons of Funk. But it's not really the match that made this part of Raw interesting. It was after Bray attacked Tons of Funk and cut a small promo on Kane. Kane appears on the Titantron and cuts his own promo on Bray Wyatt by saying, if you pull the wings of buzzards, they're not easy to follow. And then this allows Kane to say the fact that, I enjoy what you're doing, Bray, but when I do it, I'm doing it for my own personal enjoyment. You go, Kane. Bring your own enjoyment back to the WWE. Your monstrous ways, your brutality. And he says at SummerSlam, I'm going to prove to you and everyone else why I am the devil's favourite demon, as we go into a match where the ring is surrounded by fire. Inferno match, Kane the Monster versus either the Monster Killer or a monster himself, Bray Wyatt. Well done, WWE. But the sad thing about this, I'm going to praise it, but how long is this monstrous Kane going to stay around for this time? Even though the WWE are starting to do better with AJ, like tonight on Raw, she got involved during the Layla and Caitlyn match, which allowed Layla to get the win over Caitlyn. But there's no real interest for me in the Divas division. I personally believe they should have done a AJ and Stephanie feud, or brought Lita back for a temporary basis. Just something that's gonna put AJ over, or give us something in the Divas division that's going to be more interesting than these odd little Divas matches or backstage segments. Christian defeated Heath Slater. So we've had a good opener, a good Kane and Bray Wyatt segment, and now a good match between CM Punk and Curtis Axel. This match was CM Punk giving Curtis Axel a good match, a good rub, and I think the performance between both of them did justice. I enjoyed this match. If the WWE continue working on Curtis Axel, I think that guy can become a good part in the WWE and climb that ladder in a great performance way. The downfall, though, is that Curtis Axel really needs something more going to SummerSlam, or they're going to rush it next week. But after the match, which doesn't finish because CM Punk goes after Paul Heyman, which brings out the surprise Brock Lesnar. And these two have a pretty strong brawl outside the ring. And then it ends up with CM Punk about to go after Paul Heyman once again, only for Lesnar to hit CM Punk with the F5. Even though I still don't like Brock Lesnar's contract because he's never really there. When he's there, he makes impact, interest, and I look forward to the continuation of Axel's climb, CM Punk and Lesnar. So this was a favourite part of Raw for me. I really enjoyed this because it did two good things for Raw. The returning Kofi Kingston, boom, 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 defeated Fandango. And I really don't care. Welcome back, Kofi Kingston. As for you, Fandango, I don't know why the WWE allowed you to defeat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, only to have no real direction or plans for you following that. If you're going to have him do anything at SummerSlam, why not have a dance-off against Tons of Funk, maybe Rikishi, or The Miz, just something to give you something to do. If not, Fandango's really not going to go anywhere. Where? Did I convince you that I'm upset? No? Well, Stephanie didn't, as she went crying to Triple H, saying Vince upset me about the whole Daniel Bryan stuff. And then Triple H makes a warning saying, whatever Vince McMahon tries to do at SummerSlam, I'll be waiting. So is there going to be a little segment backstage in the ring to continue the Triple H and Vince storyline? I just want to know what they're leading to between Vince and Triple H. WWE, you know in less than 2 weeks we have SummerSlam, right? Well, why is Langston defeating Ziggler on Raw? Isn't this meant to be a possible SummerSlam match? Well, this match ends with the distraction of Caitlyn and AJ fighting in the ring, only for Langston to defeat Ziggler when Ziggler tries to sort the fight out. The main event ends as a DQ as Daniel Bryan's about to win the match for his team, only for the Shield to come in and just start attacking on Daniel Bryan. Randy Orton and John Cena clear house, only for Daniel Bryan and John Cena to get RKO'd. And just as Randy Orton is about to do what all Money in the Bank winners should be doing, which is teasing cash-ins, the Shield prevents from doing that, and Randy Orton leaves the Shield to beat up Daniel Bryan and John Cena. A very heel tactic. I'm not going to get my hopes up just yet that Randy Orton's going to turn heel, but that was a start, I guess. So not a bad main event. It did its job for the three wrestlers in the feud, Daniel Bryan, John Cena and Randy Orton. Got the Shield looking strong, ready for SummerSlam. So for that reason, the main event did its job. But people, please share your thoughts of Monday Night Raw. I really enjoyed this show. Yes, there were some filler matches, some wrestlers who don't look like they have anything for SummerSlam. Shame on you, WWE. Shame on you. But people, share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. And for one half of the British Fist, me NJ, thank you very much and goodbye.